How does one determine whether a certain teaching is authentic or authoritative? Depends on the criteria that you want to use. On the one hand, you could have scriptural criteria, like what the Buddha advised in the 4 great standards, the Cattaro Mahapadesa, that was given by the Buddha, that's recorded in the Mahaparinibbana Sutta and also in the Anguttara Nikaya, where he says that anyone who claims that he has understood or transmitted certain teachings which he claims to be that of the Buddha, then one should always try to see whether what he says can be found in the suttas or the Vinaya. However, it's not so possible now because we don't even know whether the suttas which are available to us right now are authentic or not. So that is also not a very good criteria, although it is something to work with, to start with. As Buddhists, of course, we still need to have something to fall back on. We still need to have some sort of scriptures. And yet, we should not cling to those scriptures as though they are the actual words of the Buddha. One must understand, if we study the history of Buddhism and how the teachings were transmitted for the first 500 years orally, then one can appreciate that what we have now, whatever versions of the Buddha's teachings that we have now, are definitely not the exact words of the Buddha. They're probably summaries that those compilers have summarized. But then again, the scholars have made comparative studies, and they found that although different traditions and different versions may vary in their accounts of the Buddha's teachings, there are certain core teachings that are common to all of these teachings, all of these different versions and traditions. So we can be quite safe if we regard these common teachings as the core teachings of the Buddha. And I believe that some scholars have come to the conclusion that the 37 wings of awakening or Bodhipakkhiya Dhammas are common to all traditions. But the problem is the interpretation of these Bodhipakkhiya Dhammas and how to put them into practice varies from one tradition to another. For me, the practical aspect of how to determine whether a particular teaching is authentic or not goes back to watching your own mind, watching your own defilements, and if the method that you practice conduces to serenity of mind, clarity of mind, makes you more composed, reduces your defilements, and eventually eliminates them, or in the process of practicing you may certainly have a life transforming experience, and it changes your mindset and your worldview for the better, and which is also durable, then I would say that that is the authentic teaching, because ultimately the Buddha's teaching leads to liberation from the defilements.